The first half of the Major League Baseball offseason ended in a flurry, with big contracts being handed out right and left, and several potential Yankees targets coming off the board. The Yankees, though, have been mostly quiet. With the exception of re-signing relief pitcher Joely Rodriguez, the Yankees have only subtracted from their roster. Things are quiet now, but the longer the lockout lasts, the less time teams will have to construct their roster for the 2022 season. You could see another flurry of moves happen quickly when the lockout ends. There are still many areas of need and many potential moves to be made. Here are the top 5 areas on which the Yankees need to focus when the lockout eventually ends. Number 5. Resupply the depth that you've already lost this offseason. These won't be the sexiest of moves, but the Yankees need to replace the players they've lost. Say what you want about Tyler Wade's offensive production, but he was one of the fastest Yankees and he could play all over the diamond, even in the outfield last season. The Yankees also lost more shortstop depth when Andrew Velasquez departed the roster. Right now the plan may be to replace one of them with prospect Oswaldo Cabrera, but he's only played a few games at AAA. Injuries happen. Underperformance happens. The Yankees are going to need depth this season beyond what they have on the roster right now. They already lost Rougned Odor from the roster, and though he wasn't a great player, he was one more piece of infield depth and another left-handed bat with a little bit of pop. The Yankees got to replace these guys.
The luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Number 4. Figure out the first base situation. With so much to do and so little time, first base may not seem like an area you need to focus on because the Yankees already have 2 first basemen on the roster, Luke Voit and DJ LeMahieu. However, DJ LeMahieu is great all over the infield and gives the Yankees a lot more roster flexibility when he's not stuck being the everyday first baseman. Luke Voit, on the other hand, has as much power as anybody in the league, but his body has broken down every year to one degree or another, and the Yankees may see first base as an area to upgrade offensively and defensively. Rumors in recent days indicate that the Milwaukee Brewers have had some interest in trading for Luke Voit. I still think the place for him might be Colorado. I think he'd probably hit 30 or 40 home runs as a DH in Coors Field should the NL implement the DH after the CBA agreement. Anthony Rizzo is still a free agent and a fan favorite, but if it were a priority to bring him back, I think the Yankees would have done it already. The fact that they haven't suggests that Matt Olson may indeed be available and that the Yankees could be pursuing him. Earlier this offseason, Jack Curry confirmed that the Yankees had inquired about Olson, but that talks had not gotten very far.
The most famous baseball player of all time, Babe Ruth.
Number 3. Will the Yankees upgrade center field? Brian Cashman, in his offseason press conference, said that the Yankees were going to take a look at upgrading the center field position, despite the fact that they do have Aaron Hicks under contract for several more years. Aaron Hicks just finished up winter ball, and he may very well begin the season as the Yankees center fielder, but he's only played in 100 games in a season twice in his 9 professional seasons. He also seems to have lost one of his greatest assets, his great throwing arm, which hasn't been the same since Tommy John surgery. There have been rumors about Brian Reynolds, and I'm not sure how much I believe them because he's one of the best young players in baseball, and again, the Yankees would have to unload some of their best prospects, Jason Dominguez, Anthony Volpe. The Yankees don't want to do that. Cashman doesn't like to make that type of deal. The Yankees have been linked to Seiya Suzuki, though he's mostly been a corner outfielder in his career. The Yankees might choose to play him in center field. Joey Gallo also did a pretty good job in center field in his career, but the Yankees didn't use him out there after trading for him. Aaron Judge has played some center field, but I don't think the Yankees want to play him out there for an entire season. Estevan Florial proved that he could play center field defensively, but didn't do much offensively this year at AAA. I believe ultimately that Aaron Hicks will be back, though it will be interesting to see what happens. Anything can happen. Number 2. Get a shortstop. If the season were to begin tomorrow, Gio Urshela would be the Yankees' starting shortstop, but he was banged up quite a bit in 2021, and the Yankees don't have a lot of depth. Going back to number 5. There's still 2 major options available, Trevor Story and Carlos Correa. A lot of fans want Carlos Correa because he's the best defensive shortstop available. He's a pretty good offensive player, but some still hold 2017 against him. I'm going to remain neutral on that debate for the purposes of this video. I just want the Yankees to win, and to win they need a shortstop. If you sign Correa, he can slide over to third base a la A-Rod in a couple of years to make room for Anthony Volpe, or you could just go ahead and move Volpe off of shortstop to another position. This would also let you fill another hole on the roster because it would permit the Yankees to move one of their major shortstop prospects, likely Oswald Peraza, possibly Trey Sweeney. That would allow the Yankees to fill another position. They could go out and get a Brian Reynolds or go out and get a Matt Olson. Trevor Story is also an option, but his home and away splits are worrisome. There have been some rumors in recent days that Trevor Story would be willing to take a one-year prove-it deal at a very high rate, perhaps $30 or $40 million, and then hit the market next year again when there's less shortstops available. The Red Sox have also been linked to Trevor Story.
If you don't like it, you're fired. You haven't hired me yet.
And number 1, get more pitching. They say you can never have enough pitching, and with Corey Kluber departing to join the Tampa Bay Rays and Jamison Tyone having surgery on his ankle and possibly missing the beginning of the season, the Yankees now have less starting pitching than they had at the end of the regular season. You can't win without solid starting pitching, period. Behind Garrett Cole, the Yankees have Luis Severino, who hasn't started a game since 2019. They also have Jordan Montgomery, who's good, but is he really a number 2? I see him more as a number 3 or a number 4 than a number 2. And the Yankees have several other question marks. Can Domingo Germán hold up over a full season? Was Nestor Cortez's performance as a starting pitcher sustainable, or will he have to revert to the bullpen? Can Luis Gil take the next step? Can Luis Medina take the next step? In recent days, the Yankees have been linked to White Sox starting pitcher Carlos Rodon, who has electric stuff but also wore down near the end of the season. The Yankees need pitching, but hey, everybody needs pitching. Honorable mention, improve at the catching position. The Yankees have tendered Gary Sanchez a contract, so he's back if they want him. Reports have the front office split about whether or not he should be back, but Sanchez seems to have mostly lost the fan base. Does he have one more good year in him, in his contract year? We might be about to find out.